completed the job basically, 5-0. That's exactly what you wanted over those last two games, wasn't it?
Yeah. Today was once again a special performance. The great thing for me about today's game was once again we had different guys standing up. JP batted really well, and Riley, they had a really good innings. 100 partnership of 160, 170 odd is a game changer, and that's goals that we set for ourselves in the team, is to try and do things that we normally didn't do. So that was an amazing partnership. Obviously, David Warner played a really good innings, and well done for him for playing a really good knock. But we were too good on the night once again. So I'm just really proud of everyone right through this series. The performances they put up against a strong Australian team. That they competed tonight. But it was just once again a good, composed, especially a batting performance.
How nervous were you getting the longer days you went and the closer you got?
Yeah, I know that he's a dangerous player. To be honest with you, I wasn't really nervous. I was just a little bit disappointed that we were giving him some free runs. Obviously, he played really well, but I still feel there was an element of loose balls, and that's what a batsman does when he's playing really well, is he puts pressure on the opposition, therefore making mistakes. So I was just trying to make sure that we minimise those mistakes. But when it was up at 9 and a bit, I was just trying to get it up to 12s, because I know with 12 it's tough to keep doing, because it was a lot of overs left in the game. But we were nice and calm right through the innings, and I think that's been a good thing right through this series. Whenever Australia comes back in the game, we nice and composed and wait for our opportunity, and then take it, and then take the momentum to our side.
Crystal? It's more than just a win over Australia, it's history.
Yeah, it's really special. We as a team, obviously before the series, didn't expect 5-0. We wanted to beat the Aussies, but when we got to 3-0 in Durban, it was important for us to try and make sure we don't take our foot off the gas, and this group of players wanted to make history, and we did that today. So yeah, it's a special feeling. As always, these things probably won't make as much sense as we're sitting here now, but I'm hoping that tomorrow when we wake up and going forward, that this will be an incredible team effort and a team achievement that will last a long time. So I'm incredibly proud to sit here and obviously be captain of a side that's done that. But for me, the greatest thing is we were a team right through this series. To have special guys right through every game put up their hand is what you want as a captain.
Well, you probably watched this in one-day cricket and T20 cricket, but you got a guy in your side, Imran Tahir, that just, when you throw him the ball, you know something's going to happen. Is that comfortable?
No, he's an absolute gunner. Imi is the reason why we are where we are in one-day cricket. Even when we shifted our winning ratio the last 2 years, Imi was probably the 60 or 70% of that reason. And tonight he produced once again. He's a competitor. He wants to win games. So Shamsi did it the previous game, and now Imran tonight obviously had his tail up because he wanted to just show everyone that he's still a number one, which he is. He's got that respect from everyone. But it's nice that we've got options now in our team. I think if someone like Shama had to play tonight with Imi, it would have been good fun to try and play them. So it's great for South African cricket that we've got guys that we've got different combinations for different wickets. But Imi has been so consistent over the last 2 years. He's won me plenty of games, so he's my banker, and I'm just happy he's in my team.
Have you ever seen him as agitated as he was tonight? And do you know what? Was there anything particular that was...
Look, Imi he wears his heart on his sleeve. He's a very, not emotional, but he loves doing well. I haven't seen him like that, but it just shows you that how badly he wanted to win the game tonight. He realised that David Warner was playing a great knock, and that he had to try and maybe get under his skin, and the two of them rightly obviously had a few words, but that's cricket, that's competitive nature. Davey is trying to win a game of cricket for his country, and so is Imran. So I don't see anything wrong with that. And the great thing is, when Imi was done, they both gave hand over the shoulder and said, "Let's have a beer afterwards." And that's, for me, is the spirit of the game. So Imi is obviously going to have a glass of water, but it's a thought that counts.
Lloyd?
Obviously, don't want to look too far ahead and you want to enjoy this moment, but in a few weeks' time, you're going to have to choose the top 6 for the first test. Is the guy on your right kind of throwing a bit of a spanner in the works there?
He's our best player. No, look, first of all, I'm really proud of him for being in the test team. He deserves it. He's someone that's put his hand up and put some really good performances in. So, look, we've also had a good test series against New Zealand where the batters did well in that series. So it's just once again a great opportunity to have guys that you can pick from, whatever you want in your team, combinations-wise. So he's definitely someone that's put his hand up, and definitely someone to consider to play Test cricket as well.
Yes, sir.
The Proteas have been through some tough times. And, people calling for the coach's head. Just something about the staff and the backroom, about Russell Domingo's contribution to the success, and also Neil McKenzie and the bowling coach.
Look, as I said countless times, I think as a squad we made a huge transition when we went away and we had a hard look at ourselves. And the great thing is that the coaches was part of that. They were really eager to try and improve themselves, as we as the players were, and they were open and honest enough to accept criticism, as we as the players did to each other. And since that day, they've been brilliant. Russell has stepped his game up. He's challenging people now. He's challenging players to try and be better. Just a bit more, I think that's healthy. The whole coaching staff is demanding a bit more from the players, and certainly from a captain point of view, that's all I drive all the time. So it's great now. Neil McKenzie has been a nice asset to us as a batting unit, because he's played the game at the highest level. He's a good soundboard to talk to, because he's got great ideas, and he focuses really well on technique. So I've really enjoyed working with him. But you can see now it's just it's the whole squad and the coaching staff is on one path. So it's important that we don't take that for granted, because we've got an extremely tough tour coming to Australia now. So I appreciate and accept that as a team we won't win every series, but it's important that to understand what is required for us to be at our best, and if we keep challenging ourselves in that space, I think we'll be a good team moving forward. So for me, it's just about realising what those things are, and the coaches has played a huge part in that. And I have to take my hat off to Russ. He's been really good. We've missed him today. He's somewhere else. But Adrian Brillo was coach today, just to his first win as head coach, just to stand in. So, but the squad's in a really good place. So I'm just really happy that there's a little bit of pressure off them as well, because as you rightly say, there was a lot of pressure on them after the West Indies series, and that's normal. You get that when a team doesn't perform to the standards that they should. And coaching staff and players should be accountable for that.
Can I get the last 3 for 5? So here, it's an 18 meters.
Perhaps just in a broader South African scale, rugby's not doing too well, football's not doing too well. What does it mean for the cricket side to bring such joy to the nation?
It's just good to see smiles on people's faces. I mean, if we're responsible for that, then that's great. We always try and be a example for what the country should live like and be like. In our team, we live that every day. The kind of respect we show to each other, and different races, different everything, different religions in our team. And there's just we always try and make sure that we're an example for the people out there. So to put smiles on their faces, especially a 5-0, that's a big smile for a long time. It just makes us really proud to be South African.
Dale's obviously been sort of coming back in terms of fitness. He's had a difficult series. He hasn't quite been his normal self. Do you feel confident? you'll see him as the bowler he can be in Australia?
Yeah, I think, sorry, Dale in Test cricket is just a different breed. So in one-day cricket, I mean, it's going to happen, as you saw tonight. KG as well, he would be the first to say that he didn't bowl at his best. But in Test cricket, it's about consistency and making sure that you can bowl an area for a long period of time. So when Dale gets that red ball in his hand, he's just a different bowler. So he's still our number one bowler in Test cricket. And for us to have a successful tour of Australia, Dale Steyn will be the guy to make or break that for us, because he's a huge player in that Test team. So I'm confident that he'll have a really good series. His shoulder looks okay. That's going to be obviously the challenge, to make sure that that stays fit and that he can bowl long periods of time, because Test cricket's not just 10 overs. So you need to bowl 18 to 20 overs a day for the next month. So we're hoping that we need a fit Dale Steyn. Our bowling attack needs to be fit for us to win a series in Australia.
Of you, taking over now, 1-5-0. Have you seen any progress, if there were any, or you had to better yourself in your captaincy?
No, I just learned, excuse me, I just learned a lot about myself in the last two to 3 months. As a captain, I didn't change the way I captain, but I certainly challenged myself to do things a little bit more in the way of challenging players. I think I've learned a lot in that space. My first 2 years as captain, you try and make sure that you have the best interest in players and make sure that you have them on your side the whole time and try and connect with them. But I've learned over the last 2 months that it's more important to challenge players and get the best out of them and really be honest with them, what you expect from them. And if they don't meet those standards, that you are honest with them and challenge them. And that's, for me, the biggest lesson in my captaincy. I find now the players do respond better to that. So it's great that I've had this journey to try and, obviously get better as a captain. You can learn every day. But I think that was my biggest lesson over the last 3 months when I started captaining in the Test.
The rest, last time, please.
There's been a lot of talk about what transformation targets will mean for the national team, and this is probably the first series, well, it's supposed to be the test as well. It seems as though they've had no effect, and it's quite easy actually to keep the team on this way, and all your players, whatever they come in, have stood up.
Yeah.
Just what do you think that message sends out in terms of the way transformation is going?
Yeah, I think people will relax now and see that it's not that bad. I think there was a lot of, especially from a public point of view, people were expecting big changes and big series defeats and stuff, so people can relax now and see that there's enough talent in South Africa no matter what colour you are. There's been some great performances this series from everyone, all different kinds of colours. So I think our cricket is in a healthy state, so people can be confident that even with those targets we are a force to be reckoned with. So certainly for us as a team, we don't see it as a negative. We've always tried and embraced it. For me, the positive thing in that is that it's actually open and there's an honest policy now out there. There's no more what the public think and what the realities in the team are. It's now an open thing. Everyone knows what it's all about and everyone can buy into it. And I think as long as you're honest and open about everything you're trying to do, you can move forward.